Hi everyone, Ted from LTM Elite Consulting. On this video, we're going to talk about the importance of being invested in the stock market if you would like to receive the most out of your investments. In this case, I have an example on this fire calc. I entered the information, $275,000 in the account, 80% in stocks, 5% in bonds, and 15% in cash. And if you click over here, by the end, after the allocations over time being rebalanced, it's going to be somewhere around 50% in stocks, 25% versus 5 in bonds, and then in cash increasing from 15 to 25. For now, I have a 5% because that's what we can get currently. But in the past couple of years, we were getting only 1.5%. If so, future doesn't mean anything. All we're doing right now is we're speculating and we're entering information in this calculator. But that's all we have, and that's pretty much what calculator is all about. And in this case, we have a 93%, 0.5% chance of not running out of money, which is pretty good, withdrawing 17,000 per year. So 17,000, if you calculate 17,000 divided by 12, gives somewhere around $1,416 per month. Again, this is not guaranteed, but it gives an idea that you can withdraw this much as long as you are getting based on the information that you entered. And then if you look down here, the median portfolio value from 275 should be around 303. Average, it says, should be around 385. And the standard deviation is around 311. So the largest is $1,133, the importance of being invested in the stock market. And the smallest would be 0. And 0, this is a 6.50%, the rate of return. And you can show here the chart with a percentage of the value. What are the possibilities, right? And here talks about the available spending. The median is 12,000 per year. We have it at 17. Average is 13, and standard deviation is 5. So if an individual doesn't feel comfortable and he wants to just not invest in the market, just withdraw the funds, in 30 years, standard deviation will be around this amount, and the average is 1,300. But you have to be invested, in order to receive more than, the 13,000. And then the chart, it says here, again, all we have is past. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. So here is the past performance. If you would have been invested from 1993 to 2022, the account would have ended with this much, 517. So this is the years that is calculating, 1992 to 2021. It would have been this much. I mean, you're talking 1 year difference. Look at the difference, guys. Right there is $175,000. Nobody would have known this unless we look back at what happened for that 30-year period. So all this is speculations now because, again, everything that we're talking right now is for future, and nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring. Only God. So right now, we're just showing you guys based on the information. Now, there are some of the clients that I'm helping that they don't feel comfortable investing in the market. So in their case, we have to explain to them, let's say they wanted to be only a 25% in the market. We're going to change this. So 25% in the market, let's say 25% in bonds, and the rest. As long as we're getting 5% on our annual growth in cash, we should be just fine, in my opinion. So let's see what the number. See, it's only 92%. So it's okay now Why go and take chances in the stock market if you don't feel comfortable and you know you can get the rate of return of 5%? But let's say if we change the rate of return, instead of 5%, why don't we change it to, let's say if it goes back down to 1%, as we did 2 years ago. We weren't able to get rates at 5, especially inflation was so high. So let's just calculate it. From 92%, look what it dropped to, 23%. That's why it's so important to have your money work for you, at least being out there making money. Otherwise, you won't be able to sustain the 30 years withdrawing without running out of money. Another example here is, even if I change it back to this 5% rate, you guys gonna notice, right? It's 92%, but I never calculated anything as far as the inflation. And the inflation the past couple of years, it was insane, right? 5, 7, 8%. Right now we're back to 3.5 in 2023, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. So let's just adjust it for inflation. Look at the difference, how it's going to drop, guys. Wow, from 92%, again, it went down to 27%. That's why, just because we are getting a 5% annual growth in our money market accounts currently, doesn't mean that it's safe if we adjust for inflation. That's why it's so important to be invested for the long run, especially when you have, 25, 30, 35 years to have this money work for you. And here I have another calculation when it comes to being invested. Let's say if you don't understand it, but you are invested in a target data fund or in some type of a company fund, and when you retire, you just leave the funds there. Paying a 0.5% or a 0.75% on this website, I'm going to show you guys how much it adds up. So let's say you have $100,000, right? And you're paying 0.5% fee. Usually that's an average on a target data fund plus the annual fees and their the total fees will be somewhere around this amount. So let's say 0.5%. The first year is not much. As you can see, it is only $525, and that's only on $100,000. But if you have $200,000, that makes it over 1,000. If you have 400,000, right there on the target data fund on the 400,000, you are paying over $2,000, and you're not getting much service out of it. And let's say you are, in the long run, after 30 years, look at the price. That's a $60,000 difference. So instead of receiving that $371, it's $60,000, and that's only on $100,000. So $100,000 is $60,000 in 30 years. If it's $200,000, that'll be $120,000 that you're paying in expenses, right? And if it's in $400,000, that'll be over $240,000 for that 30 years. So how important the fees, even though if it's a 0.5% in the long run, it does adds up. I just wanted to show you guys that doing it yourself and understanding, simplifying things is one of the key success to have a financial peace and simplifying things. I wish you guys the best. Please subscribe, and if you have any questions, reach out to me. Till next time.